See? So now, after we practice that, you can do it with the little step too. A little step, right? Making sure your elbow's straight. Now making a fist out of it. Making a fist out of it. So, but after you practice that, right, now what we want to do is we're going to make a fist, right? We're going to make a fist, and we're going to turn over the fist. But when we do that, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to turn over the fist at the end of the punch, but this other hand, you know, I had a great trainer, and he would advise doing this. Now, a lot of times to do that, I tend to have my hands straight to sort of defense, but twist this other hand back. So you've been practicing like this. Now we're going to throw a fist, right? We're going to punch, and at the end of the punch, you turn that fist over, and you connect, and you pull back with this off shoulder, and twist this hand in. Now, you may not, if you don't twist the hand if you don't make a fist and clench it and twist it back in, that's fine. But you want to pull back if we're going to talk about a committed jab. And right now that's what we're talking about, because you learn how to get that sharp committed jab with some distance on it, some length on it, and then later you can get out there and do double jabs, triple jabs, set up combinations, whatever. Let's get the hard committed jab first. So back review again. We're that straight, make sure it's straight. You can even go back here, do these again. And then we're going to throw that punch. We're going to throw it out there, and bam, we're going to twist it, and we're going to really get that pop. See, if I got my arm straight like this, and everything's lined up, all those bones are straight, you don't even want, I mean, if I walked around the ring like that, you don't want to run straight into this, because it's just, it's like running into a 2x4, like a telephone pole. When you see like guys like Sonny Liston, they talked, he had a telephone pole jab. You got hit with the end of that thing and it knocked you silly. You had Larry Holmes, George Foreman. He came back. He's a great example for guys like us. He came back, oldest heavyweight champion, returned. He became champion at the oldest age ever. And man, that jab would just knock people silly. Okay, now. What else though? How do you get that pop? Where does that really come from, that pop? Well, it comes from the feet. So we go back to the stance, right? We come back to the stance in the feet, because it's not in your arms. Now, a mistake that guys start trying to do, in fact, they start trying to turn their fists over too soon, and they're shooting arm punches, and they wind up kind of like a weird kangaroo or something, right? You don't want to be like the weird, goofy kangaroo, because one, you're not going to get anything on your punches. You want to stay true to these keeping your elbow in, like I said, and you want to turn over your fist at the end and pull back, but still, it's coming from your feet. All your punches are coming from your feet. It's from what they call talia, right? So think about your toes. First, you're going to have your toe twitch, and that's going to go into your knees. And when I say toe twitch, if you want to think about in the beginning, you can think about sort of twitching, kicking your heel out a little bit this direction, but you don't really have to. And in fact, I don't really recommend that. There's things you can do so you don't start twitching this way, because then we do that and you want to throw a combination, you start losing balance and you can't get a quick combo off. But right now, you kind of twitching your toe in. Let's just do it for the moment. Twitching your knee in, your hip, and then your shoulder is the last thing to catch up. And then it's going out, and then you're going to have this bang that we just talked about. Okay? So toe, knee, hip, shoulder. My shoulder's got to still catch up. And then it's coming out, and bang, we're going to pop it at the end. If we're going to do it, bop, right? So I'm doing it one more time, slow motion, except I'm going to you'll see how the kinetic chain works on that. So it's like ding, hit toe, knee, hip, shoulder, pop. See how loose I am? When you're boxing, you can't use your arms and do arms punches, because you'll be like, you see guys even showing on videos, they're like going, now we're going to do a hook. Yeah. Now we're going to do a right. Yeah. And when you try to do that, your arms start coming up, your elbows start coming up. But let's stay loose, okay? Even if you're getting older, you can stay loose. It's your feet, your knees, your hips, then your shoulders, and then into your arms. So one more time. Toe twitch, knee, hip, shoulder, pop. If you do it all at once slow, it's like pop. You do it a little faster, pop. Do it a little faster, pop, right? See, pop. This is where you're going to get that power. And I'm not even taking a step. Now, when of course, yeah, you can take a step. We can talk into the in and out, which is great. That's really popping the amateurs, especially younger guys. They're looking for points. Manny Pacquiao, though, in the pros, in and out. He was so fast. To be honest, you get a little older, the in and out thing wears you out, and you get really sloppy. And it's also hard to jump in and out and jump in and get any power on that first jab. It's awkward, especially when you're for beginners. If you can get where you can get in and throw off combos and get out, especially at like 50, well, man, that's impressive. But so we're going to do more of a little bit of an old-timey, something that you can maintain also during sparring for more than a round, and maybe you take a little step, but it's still the same. So let's review. Step for step with that, right? So we got that straight elbow, right? Now we're going to make fist, except how are we going to do it? That step becomes the toe twitch, the knee and the hip. So up, right? And then the shoulder's still catching up, and then it's going straight, it's going straight, it's going straight, and then when you're going to pop it, get back. See? Now that is a basic mechanics of the jab that will work for you even if you're getting older. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go down to the white trash gazebo in my neighbor's yard, and I'm going to hang up a heavy bag, and we're going to put some of this into practice. Now when I do this down there, I'm not going to emphasize the last point of the jab, which is getting your hand back to protect yourself, because right now we want to get the mechanics of doing it right, getting it out there and popping and getting that pop. Now, but there is one last aspect that I do need to emphasize, and that is when you've got the whole kinetic chain, you shot it out there, where's your chin? Well, people say get your chin down behind your shoulder. Sounds simple, but you're not putting your chin down like this. You're putting your ear into your shoulder. If you put your chin straight down, or you try to get it like that, that's really bad. Wait, look, I'm leaving this whole thing open. Somebody can come over the top and hit me in the ear. It's not even comfortable. What I'll do is I'll end up doing like that, which is really not going to be good. What I want to do is get my ear tilt my head into my shoulder, my ear into my shoulder. So if I can practice like this, except you can't see me because my hand's in the way. But if we did that twitch, knee, hip, shoulder, is going, and I'm pulling back, and then bam, and I've got my ear into this shoulder. That means if somebody comes over the top, they can just hit me on my bony kind of fish head here. They're not going to knock me out like that. They will. They'll massacre me if I get lazy, right? So, and you say, well, how's that going to work? Because if you do a 1-2, bam, then you're going to tilt your ear to this shoulder. Yeah, you are. You are, right? And that doesn't look. I've actually got my mic's going to come off, but so. Bam, bam, bam. And you say, but your head's going to go pop, 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 pop. Well, I mean, okay. Let's not, it's like rock'em sock'em robot time, right? And when you spar, sure, some of this stuff goes out the window. You start getting tired. But right now, trust me, when you do this, you'll have a faster jab. You'll be more protected. You'll get more pop on the punch, because when I'm doing that and I'm shooting it out there, and then I bam, and I get it like that, my whole body, the whole kinetic chain is just like a rock. The bones are all lined up. It's that telephone pole. If I pop it out there and then I come back, and I'm doing the same thing with my hip and from the other side, which we'll talk about later, and I'm pulling back and my arm's keeping straight, and then I'm getting my ear into this elbow, bam, it's the same thing, right? I'm probably getting out of the camera. I'm trying to look at the camera, but I can't see it. But you get the picture, right? This side, that side. But right now, let's just worry about this side. Start from this position up here, high guard. We'll get into wide a little later, but just like I said, first, if you want, you can do that exercise I showed you. Make sure you're throwing it straight, and then you're going to practice a little twitch of the toes and the hips, and bang. Okay, that's what you're going to practice. You want to get that straight out. I don't want you jumping in right now. I want you to try to do this. Now the in and out we talked about, that's important, but that's not for now. Okay, so when you hit the bag, you're not trying to, this isn't karate, you're not trying to push through the bag, you're trying to hit here. You want to keep that distance and give it, so it's a little bit, like I said before, it's a little bit into the bag. But so what happens, I'm right here, right? When the toes, hips, everything, my actually arm is last, shoots out, hits the bag, extension, and I'm pulling back here, right? So if I'm here, so I didn't even hardly take a step. I didn't even hardly move. Right? There we go. Right? So that's what I want you to do. That's a big thing just to practice. Now, later when we're going to move around, we're going to move, and that's going to be the two. But you see that pop? That's the pop. That's what I want. Now, if you throw a jab and you throw it right, and you get the full extension, and you twist back here, and your arms here. Look at this. This is like, man, this is like a telephone pole going through. You know, you don't even want to run into that. Somebody's jumping around in front of you. You got your arms straight and extended. Bonk. They used to talk about Sonny Liston, how he had a telephone pole jab. You know, and he's right here. Let's see, remember that drill? And it's just straight there. You can't even see my face. Now, what's the other thing to remember that we talked about? You tilt your head into your ear, into your shoulder, not your chin into your shoulder, not hunch it down. Ear into your shoulder, ear into your shoulder. Okay, so that means if I'm standing here, stop. That's man. I've had shoulder problems and everything. That's still a good pop, right? Now later you can try tapping, doing 2 or 3, but that's not the point right now. To tell you the truth, I'm actually a little too cold to do that. This is the point. We're going to do it one more time, okay? So right here, this shoulder's a little higher. We're going to twist it. We're going to get that, bam, my ear into my shoulder, right? So right here. Okay, one more time. Now, there's one last thing. You'll get here plenty of this. Retract your hand back to your head. Don't throw a jab and have it go down like that. Sometimes you can practice, you even see like Canelo kind of does this. He'll hit and he'll bounce his hand up. Bam, bam, it'll kind of, you'll see his hand comes up high. So, okay, we can try one more time, all right? And then after this, I want you to do this. You do this for a whole minute, but don't do it like 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a few. Don't practice something bad when your arm gets tired. Okay, we're gonna try one more time, right? So, okay, that's it. Right? Right? So when I throw a 1, 2, tilt my head this way, just like I told you, hit my head that way. So, see, that's some pop. And I'm just hitting this bag standing still. See? This bag standing still. And I'm still getting pop. Okay? That's all you have to work on right now. Now we're going to talk about the feet and what to do a little later. I mentioned it, and I will do one where you show your feet, right? Which is really important for older guys in your 40s, 50s, or even guys coming back to it. But right now, we're going to do the jab. We're going to practice that jab. And during your workouts, really, you should be doing 60% of your punches are going to be some kind of jab. Maybe, you know, a lot of left hooks, you know. We'll get into that later. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Just got back. I'm still kind of cold. Hope you get something out of that and you work on your jab. Next show, we're going to get into some other bits and pieces. We're going to go step by step, some basics, but also when I do this, we're going to put in stuff about how to take care of your tendons, how to get over injuries, what supplements you should take, how are you going to, as maybe an older guy or a guy getting back in shape. Man, it's a battle. It's coronavirus time. I'm having a battle too, believe me. How are we going to structure workouts, and how when we get a chance and we get back in there and we do some sparring, and we're going to keep these younger guys under control, right? That's what we're going to do. So I look forward to it. If you like this, hit like, subscribe. Gives me motivation to make more of these, and we will see you soon.